Good morning. It's going to be a bad morning because I started off not even able to find my headphones. So, let's hope it gets better from here. Welcome to the Friday edition of this live stream. Am I live? Am I live? Yeah, there we go. Thought YouTube didn't go. There we go. So, let's look at things here. Looking at the overnight here on the NASDAQ. Bit of a tight range. Hold on a minute. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, great. Now I got a sneeze stuck. Uh, by the way, we're going to be sim trading today just to do some more testing. The S&P 21-point range. Copper Something a buy signal now, but it looks like it's been rangy. Oops. Oh, that's still 5 minute. So far, it's been an inside day compared to yesterday. Big fall here over at this. Well, maybe not. Yeah, there we go. These back-to-back candles were pretty significant. Doesn't look like it, but it's actually a 200 point range. I mean, sorry, 200 tick range. And here, this just dead dropped 42 down to 38. So that's $1,000, and then it made itself all the way back up by $2,000. It's pretty impressive, but we also double topped. So this is interesting. This is a very important part. I don't know why that white line's there, but I guess I should test to make sure. I changed some settings, so I guess I better make sure that people are hearing me. So I gotta bring up my own stream. Let's see if I can hear myself talk. Testing, testing. Maybe I can't hear myself talk. Oh, there we go. Maybe if I turn volume on, that would work. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now, so that's a double topped here. 40, 440, 480, 440, 480. That was perfect double top. Not even off by a tick, tick, tick. So definitely something to watch there. Alter bonds. Oh, wow. Ultra bonds on the downtrend overnight, it looks like. Just recently hit its bottom for the day. We have about a 2.5 point range. Gold. Let's see what gold did overnight. Oh, yeah. Be helpful if I had up the chat, huh? Just in case anyone's actually saying anything. There we go. Gold. Get rid of this. Oops. There we go. Everything so far is inside. Oh, it's not technically not an inside thing. Gold with a 11 point range. Crude oil. Crude bottomed here. Oh, very tight range on crude so far compared to yesterday. Not even a full point. About 70 ticks. Natural gas. Also looks pretty tight. Let's see. Still about 2 points on natural gas. Gold giving us a signal. Buy signal after pretty good downtrend here. Down here, you can see I'm testing a new indicator. Or, sure, I guess it's not really an indicator, it's a tool. You've seen me draw out support and resistance lines if you've tuned in before. This trading view indicator draws them out automatically. Just I'm not sure if it does enough. Like I would put one here as well, but and I'll definitely put one here. So I'm testing it out because I don't understand why I put one here. So I'm testing it out because drawing, I mean, support and resistance are important, but constantly trying to draw it over multiple charts myself, it gets to be a pain. So, oh yeah, Russell overnight. Uh, Russell's high of the day was the opening candle, about a 14-point range, pretty tight. So yesterday we saw the Nasdaq hit all-time highs. In fact, it did it right at 4 p.m. Eastern. Oh yeah, this is the S&P. I'm sorry. The S&P did not hit all-time highs, but it came within a tick of it right at 3 p.m. The Nasdaq also hit its all-time high right at 3 o'clock, and then whoosh down by 53 points. So, but the new all-time high on the Nasdaq is 1577. So we keep an eye on that. We're well off of that now by 140 points. So that's been the drop. You see this, 3 o'clock, and then another 72-point drop on this candle here. I guess I didn't really research, but I heard someone say that Amazon had a bad day, bad earnings report or something. Gold keeps trying to give a signal. We have a signal here. I just don't. It's see on the 5-minute chart. It's well below the very downtrending SMA. Good morning to those joining me this early in the morning. Please feel free to say hi in the chat. Let me know you're alive. That it's not just a bunch of zombies watching, even though I guess I'm kind of zombie-ish myself right now. Soybean oil. Oops. Had a good night overnight. Corn, kind of sideways. Corn's had a good few days though. It had a great day yesterday. So there's just nothing going on right now. Let's chart out the overnight on copper. See what kind of moves we had. See, it made on this 1-minute chart on the 200 EMA. Let's check that natural gas signal. There we go. Let's see what that was. So it's trying to head downward. See if it gives us another signal. We were in a downtrend, and I'm really starting to. Natural gas is going to keep bugging us. Well, let's see. Bring up a gas chart. There it is. Oh wait, that's right. There's gas chart. So we're filled on that order. I'm not sure how that happened. We didn't get any slippage. I almost always get slippage on natural gas. So we'll keep an eye on that. Natural gas can take a while to play out. So move that back off screen for now. Voila. We'll go back to charting out copper. So we can see here, this would have been a nice trade. This is the last one before I went to bed last night. We're underneath the 2 ampere EMA. So we're going to just try shorts here, and that's not going to work, I can already tell you. But I would have entered next here, and that would have stopped me out here about an hour later. Still under the EMA when we got this. We had an uptrending SMA, but barely. So I think I would have entered another short here. It definitely had bearish momentum, and that would have stopped me out again. So last night would not have been a good copper night until here. Yeah, there, we got in there. That would have got us a win. And if we could have rode that down, it would have been an even better win. So then we got this buy signal here. The SMA was already kind of straightening, so I probably would have taken it. Hey JWH, how you doing? Glad to have you. Happy Friday morning. This would have stopped us out. Boom. Actually, sure why that's. There we go. Got any questions or anything? You can see here, this is where the uptrend started on copper, right here. This was the first attempt at starting to uptrend. It failed. If we had gotten out on the sell signal, we could have gotten a win down going down here, but I can't imagine I would have done that. We were consolidating here. We've got a sell signal, but in the bands. When you get a sell signal in the bands are tight, you wait. We're now above the EMA line, so I'm looking more for longs than shorts. This would have worked. Oh yeah, let's check on our yeah, brain's not functioning yet this morning. Our natural gas trade. Natural gas is down. It's reversing, it looks like. Let's take a look at the chart. Yep, it just stopped us out there. So natural gas came down, and we can see it's kind of in this tight range here since the big downward trend here. Now it's trying to head back up. We're going to wait to see if it breaks the 200 EMA. This would have been a good trade here. For 40 ticks. So we could have reversed on the gas trade, and then we would already be up, but we're going to wait for the EMA break. Let's finish charting out copper while we wait to see if anything else pops. So we're above the EMA, but we're well above it. So we'll see. This would have been a good one. No, maybe not. Would not have gotten to our profit goal. So now this is the argument about not going against the trend. As you can see, every sell signal here would fail. This one, this one. And as the bands are tightening, it is even less room to roll. So 4 straight short signals would fail. So would long signals work? Probably. That's what we're going to do. Here is the first sell signal. I'm sorry, buy signal. I would not have entered that buy right there. I'm not sure I would have entered any of these, just because, oops, put that to the side for now. You have a downtrending SMA line. This probably works eventually. We'll plot it out. Buy signal came in there. So we got it there. And you can see this does work eventually. Takes a while. There. So any of these buy signals would have worked. But so this is why I'm really starting to look at going with the SMA and maybe weeding out some potential losers. So I need to use a simulator. Um, that's a good question. Uh, Watching the market can be good. One thing I would do, I would just, for just a little bit, I would bring up like 2 charts on 2 different instruments, like maybe ES and maybe something like gold or something, and actually don't actually look to make trades or whatever. Just watch as the candles form for just a little bit, so you can actually see how the market's moving. I'm not saying do that every day. I'm saying as a newer person using a simulator, just take the time to do that once or twice, so you can see how things form, see how things move, and eventually you start seeing the patterns. You see this type of move here. I use a very simple set of indicators. I don't have a whole bunch of MACDs, RSIs, and all this. Bollinger Bands, a couple moving averages, and the super trend that sends me the buys and sells. And you can see here as I'm plotting off these potential trades, I'm, almost always going off what these buys and sells signals send me. I ignore some. I don't take every one. Like, see, if you're lucky here, this came down through an uptrending SMA line, hard down. And you have your bands that are up, kind of coming up to meet it. So I immediately thought this wasn't going to go anywhere, so I ignored the sell signal. As you can see, it's coming back up, or at least going sideways. But when you're looking at it, if you can see here, this is what I'll be looking at, because I wouldn't know those other candles when this came down, and it's just like, yeah, that doesn't look right. So I know you got that super trend indicator. I know TradingView also only allows one indicator as a free service, which really sucks. But I believe if you bring up a second chart, you could put a second indicator and try and watch both. EMA line isn't as important, but I really like using the bands because, as you can see, almost any time, and I think you asked about the bands on Reddit once. You can see how when this pierced the third band here, this white band, the white top band here, it pulled back after it did. And that happens a lot. Here, it pierced the third band and went sideways for a while. Here, we didn't pierce the second band, but we did pierce one and it reversed. Um, let's see. Here, rode up, didn't really pierce. Here, it touched the third band, and it wasn't a big pullback, but the next candle was red. So anytime it starts stretching further and further from the middle, you're getting a better chance that it's going to reverse. Because 99% of all price action happens within the most outer band here. You can see here. You see here how this candle came up here and pierced this white band, and a big red candle back down. In fact, it went band to band. Then it pierced this one and came back up. And I can sometimes do that, just kind of ping-ponging off the bands. So natural gas is being undecisive right now. You can see this sell signal didn't work. It doesn't look like this buy signal would have worked. That's why I say I want to see it break the EMA. It would have worked for up to a 26 points, ticks. But, I'm sorry, JWH, did I answer your question? Or do you have a follow-up? I'm not trying to ignore you. Oh, it's a 5-minute chart. What am I doing? A 5-minute chart. 1-minute chart. We got a sell signal on the 1-minute chart on the ES. It rode the bands on the 5. Got to sell the NASDAQ as well. That, both are coming up into upward trending bands. ES is bending the bands. Let's see if it can break this 200 period EMA. Cool. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure. I sometimes ramble or I get sidetracked with something else. So I wanted to make sure I answered you. Okay, so we see that gold's giving us a signal as well here. Uh, Gold is trending down as well. I like the gold better. There's our gold chart. on NinjaTrader. Uh, so we're in a gold trade on Sim. Remember, I'm Sim trading again today as I test some more stuff out. So here at the top of the hour, let's get our NQ out of the way. We didn't take that trade. So copper, uh, NQ and ES. Oh, well, NQ is continuing to come down, trying to break through this 200 period EMA. We did see the break of the EMA on the S&P, and it seems like we got something that's selling off here. Gold is our trade is off by 2 ticks right now. Bonds. How do we get this far back on the bonds? There we go. Bonds is uptrending. You can see our gold rate is up 7 ticks, coming down. Moving nicely to the downside here. So let's quickly switch over to the trading view chart. We see we are getting close to the low of the day in gold. We are 10 ticks away, which can act as a resistance point. Our support area, I guess, is when you're going down at support, when you're going up it's resistance. It's kind of weird though, because it's really resisting or you getting any further money, so it's really all resistance to me. Um, it came down here, and this is where you had this move down, and this is where buyers stepped in and came back up. So this is where the move exhausted. So there's a chance that this move exhausts at the same spot. So you can see coming down, it's kind of struggling here, right at this 12 to 14 tick point. Two schools of thought. One, see it starting to struggle. You can pull the trade early and take the profit it's giving you there, or you can just give it some more room to work and go to the profit goal. At this point, I have a 34 point profit. No, I'm sorry, 34 tick profit goal. 34 points would be nice. It'd be $3,400. Okay, we see him bounce a little bit here, or trying to. We're 16, 17 ticks in the profit. $160. Just gonna sit here and watch this a bit, see what it does. I see where it's reversing and comes back. I might cut it when it's about 10 ticks if it ever comes back. But now, oh, there we go. Now it's moving downward again. Okay, we have now, see, this is why you give it room to roam. We are now 27 ticks in the profit. You see my trailing stop here is now trailing. It's going to probably pull back and stop us out here. So that was a $250 win. You can see it here. A $60 win? Oh, that's right. We took that loss earlier on natural gas. But okay, so it was a $250 win. Let's look. Well, let's look here. 79. We got in at 17.94.0 and out at 17.91.3. So it was actually we actually got $270 out of that, and the trade lasted 5 minutes and 17 seconds. So there's not many opportunities out there where you can get $270 in 5 minutes that don't involve drugs. So that was an excellent trade. As you can see here, we did have that big candle down, and then it's reversing now. It did make a new low in the day. So we'll reset our yellow line there. Now that might continue going, but $270. I mean, on most of the gauntlets, if you go into a gauntlet, $270 is about average of what you need for a day. On, I believe, the 25 and the 50K. 50K might be a hair higher. I forget. I think you need $3,000 profit and trade 15 days. You only need like $200 a day to do it in the quickest possible way. So we got a sell signal here on copper that it didn't take. Now, this is one of those that I would agonize over. We've been, downtrending and it came down hard. And, like I said, I would not have taken it because of how hard it came down, but it ends up working. If you look at here, we can mark this off. Looking for uh, 20 ticks and it would have worked. So, is there any way we could have not taken this candle and still taken that trade? Yes, yes, I'm glad you asked. Find my right line here. Okay, so this is where this candle ended. This candle began. Draw that line. Now, I said I was almost sure it was going to pull back. And it did pull back. Not a lot, but it pulled back enough that our SMA line started straightening out and it started coming back down. This candle here looks much better than this candle here to me. So once it went up and then started coming back down, entering at that same level, so say we waited for this candle to end now, and we got in here. I run a 15 tick stop loss on this, and a 20 tick profit target, and we would have went to profit. Now in trading view, say you had drawn out this line, you can actually hold on a minute. Yeah, add an alert on the ray, so that when it crossed the ray again, when it broke this again, it would have notified you, so you could jump over to that chart and decide whether you wanted to get in at that point. And that's how you could have not taken this signal because of the way it looked like there, but if it gave you another chance, you could have got in. Okay, gold's continuing to go down. Now you could be upset that hey, gold's continuing to go down. We could have got more out of that trade, and you're right. But take your profit where you can get it. Platinum also hitting a big hit. See if the indices are doing anything. Yeah, the indices are uptrending. You can see here on the Nasdaq, been kind of uptrending for a while. You can mark these off from here. We'll mark the rest off. This had already broken the SMA line where I had uptrending already here. So there's been no reason not to get in this, although it is below the 200 period EMA. 15 points. Now you can see here this short signal, excuse me, came down hard. This is a 10-point down candle, but it was into the bands, and the bands are kind of sideways, if not uptrending. So I would not have taken that signal at all. And remember, it's not like I've seen this when that would have fired. I would have seen this. And that's what it's very easy to look back and say, well, would have been a bad trade. You got to be honest with yourself of whether you would have taken that trade, and you give yourself a set of rules. On a 1 minute chart, if it's into the bands, especially a big move down like that, I'm probably not going to take that trade. So our next one is here. And again, into the bands off a big move, up, going up, would not have taken that trade either. But, and you can see, for good reason, I think, as it would have stopped us out there. Next trade, next opportunity, this sell signal right here. And you know what? I can't say I would not have taken that. I can't say, and that would have been a definite stop out. But we'll plot it out. The worst part about this stop out is that it didn't occur to here, and it sends this buy signal here. And this is something I need to get better at, is figuring out when if it sends me an opposite signal, when to get out. Because sometimes it'll send you an opposite signal and uh, but then reverse and go back your way. Now here though we had the EMA line, 200 period EMA, and when the buy signal fired, we had crossed the EMA. Now what I might have done is I might have waited one more candle for confirmation, and then got in right here, got exited that sell, exited that short, went in here, and that would give us 15. Now, you see this sell signal fired here, and that would have been enticing as well. I think I would have ended up taking that for a loss as well. Again, I'm looking at maybe sticking with only taking trades in the direction of the 200 period EMA, because then this is looking better. But if I did that, then I wouldn't take this trade because it was below the EMA. So it's I need to run some stats on it this weekend. You know, this one would have come up slightly short, although I think it gets it over here. Yeah, so that works with going with the EMA. Natural gas sending us a signal. Must have missed it on the one. Broke this EMA. You can see it, you know, this trade here. Here's the one that stopped us out for the loss. But the next one was good. Oops. And that would have also been against the EMA. So it's like, I don't know. But you can see now, it came up. It would have actually got us probably about 80 ticks. Natural gas moves very easy. And then it's coming down, and it broke the EMA. So enter here, looking for 40 ticks, but we do have the bands here, so if it started, starts struggling here. If you're still here, JWH, this tool I'm using on TradingView to chart out these trades are potential trades. Obviously, not actual trades, but I believe that is you can use that free on TradingView if you want to try and chart out some of the buy and sell signals, see how they work as well. This would have got us our 40 ticks. So yeah, this is an interesting tool. You just come over here to the side menu and you hit long or short position, and you can kind of see how big the movement is, and try and figure out a stop loss and profit target. I'm trying to, you asked on Reddit earlier about a trading journal. I don't keep a journal per se. It's recommended. A lot of people swear by it. I do keep a spreadsheet where every week, and I'm behind this week, every week I chart out every trade 24/7 that I would have taken based on my rules of entry. And I started doing that. Um, I started doing that to prove to me myself that this works because I keep second guessing and doubting myself. So you can see here like Copper this week would have been 43 wins, 24 losses if I had taken every possible trade that fit my criteria that week. And the next week 45-27. So that's what I do, and I actually physically chart out. Switch back over to TradingView. I physically chart out every trade. If you look back here, you'll see all these greens and reds, little boxes. These are all potential trades that I would have taken based on my entry. Of course, I can't stay up 24/7, but I just chart out if I had been up, would I have taken this trade? Would it have won? That takes me some time. I totally missed this day somehow. So I'll have to chart that out this weekend. It takes some time. I try to do it as I'm going along somewhat, but then on the weekends I'll take some time because that's when MTurk's slow and all that. I'll take some time, get anything I missed, and then put the numbers on. I also want to try and start like figuring it out by time, see if there's times of the day that are better compared to others. Like late afternoon before the close in the afternoon is usually slow. And that usually seems to indicate more losses, or sometimes with lesser volatility you need to not trade as try and get a shorter profit target. Let's see. I've kidded that at some point I need to hire a data analyst. But you can see this would have gotten our 40 ticks easy, and it might be heading toward its slow of the day. Yeah, well, yeah, everything just fell out. Crude oil fell out, gold fell out. We see this coming down as well. Gold's still going down. So now to put that in perspective, we didn't stay in that trade. We got our $270 and got out. But from this sell signals, which is what I got in on, at 1794.2, it's down to 1786.3. This is an $800 move. Now, what my eventual goal when I'm using more than one contract at a time. Let me just chart this out. Boop, 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 boop. My eventual goal will be to go in like 3 contracts where I take profit on one, then I try and let the other one or two run, like one with a tight trailing stop and one with a more liberal one. So like if I was running three, first one would have taken me out here, which is actually where we did get taken out by the trailing stop on that one contract. But then the other one would have caught the rest, some more of this move, and I might even have trailed it with the ATR. That's this line here. So right now, if I got in here, 1794.2, and let's say this comes back up to this ATR line, which is at looks like about 1788.2, so that would have got us $600. So now gold's range on the day is about 18 points. You can see here on the 5-minute chart. Yes, right now I do. Um, my risk reward is usually anywhere between 1.33 and 2. Uh, for like copper, it's 1.33. Nasdaq, it's 1.5. Natural gas, it's 2. That's the goal. Now, I'm trying to get a little bit more fluid with that. Um, a lot of people like to use the ATR as their stop loss, and what that does is it allows you to be adjust better to market conditions. Since when things are really moving, you might want to give it more space, and when it's not moving, less space. I because in NinjaTrader, which is the what I actually enter orders on. Let's take gold for example. I can set the strategy. As soon as I enter this order here, it immediately marks off my stop loss and the profit target. It enters in orders for both. So that way I don't have to like be manually entering it in, and that saves me time. But it might cause me to, I try to set different parameters for different times of the day. If you look at my strategies here, like gold, I have 3 for gold. One before 8 o'clock at night. That's like 10 ticks by 7 ticks. Then after 8 p.m. until, most of the rest of the day, where I'm shooting for 16 ticks with a 12 tick stop loss. But then this time of day, from like 8 a.m. Eastern to uh, 10 a.m. Eastern or 11 a.m. Eastern, I'm running a higher volatility where we're giving it more room to run with a higher profit target. So in this case, I'm looking for 35 ticks, and my stop loss is at 25. So let's say we've taken this sell here. Let's go back to a 1-minute chart. Um, Here's a sell. So we would have gotten in here at 1794 too. Now technically, the ATR, you can see how tight we were. These weren't big candles being formed, only a few ticks each. So the ATR was only here. When if we had set our stop, it was only 10 ticks. So really, if we had used the ATR as a stop loss, this would have been a risk to reward of 3.5 to 1. Hey, Gabe, how you doing? But you see here on this buy signal, we wouldn't take this buy signal because we're still trending downward. But this sounds good, Gabe. If we had gotten in here on this buy, you can see now the ATR is, a 2.6 point stop loss. So following that, I mean that's about what I would normally run a 2.5 here. So that's about normal. It's trending back downward, so we wouldn't have taken that trade anyway. But and then at a 3.6, we have a 1.3 reward to risk. But that involves more work on my part. And I need to get more organized with my charts. So back on our Nasdaq, it's kind of consolidating here as we're about an hour before the New York Open. Bonds. Let's look at bonds. Bond. I've been really checking out the bonds lately. Thanks, CFT. And the bonds are the one asset that seems like they can come back up through a downtrending SMA line, and that trade works. See here, I mean, if I go for my 7 by 5, and here that stop loss is just about the ATR, like we talked about, that would easily got us our 7 ticks. And another one here. That one got us our 7 ticks. Now this sell signal we wouldn't have taken. Not only do we have the uptrending SMA line, but we have the break of the bands, uptrending bands at that. So this would have been an absolute red flag. Basically a neon sign that says don't trade me. The short would have worked easily here. But this was choppy for a good portion of the night. This has been the last trade I would have done last night. Then we had this one. The bonds took a pretty hard fall, as you can see, most of the night, or until, I should say most of the night, until about midnight my time. Came back here. I would not have taken this trade. I would not have taken that. Maybe I would have taken that trade. Bounced off the SMA line, and that would have been a failure. 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 Then this next long right here. Gold and QRTY. So it looks like we have some stuff bouncing here. Ooh, big move down on the Nasdaq. Let's get that out of the way. Wow. Eight points down on this 1 minute candle, but it wicked down by total move down was 15 points, but it's regaining almost everything. Some sort of news. Let me check the Discord. Greg there always has news. Econ number. Some sort of econ number came out. Uh, Not 100% sure what the econ numbers were. Obviously, it's something that kind of upset the market. So that's another thing. Hey, Deco, how you doing? Another thing you always want to be cognizant about is potential news releases. They can send the market wild, depending on what they are and what they say. You see copper since this big move down. Wow, actually didn't notice that. Right around 8 o'clock, copper dropped over $600 contract. Now it's trying to come back. It's possible. Be very rare for something to come down this hard and then go right back up. It has happened, but right now you see these bands are at literally 90-degree angles, and that's unusual. Gold. Gold also reacted to that news. Whatever that news was, I have to find out what that news was. You can see this big wick down that broke the third standard deviation Bollinger Band, and honestly, it looks like it would have broke the fourth and the fifth, which would have indicated an excellent rebound opportunity, which it did massively. This is a 37 tick candle. Doing any trading today, Deco? So whatever this market news was, it's kind of sent the market topsy-turvy, because you see this came up hard, basically band to band. There are big band breaks on both sides, and it's just up down now. So it's where you kind of sit on your hands a bit. We're looking at bonds. Bonds also, you can see this 1 minute candle here. It didn't know what it wanted to do. It kind of bounced off the EMA. Still showing a bullish momentum though. So NASDAQ, this came down almost to the EMA. It went band to band. The S&P went band to band. Everything did. I don't. Let's see what the energies did. Yeah, it didn't really affect crude oil much. Yeah, crude oil shrugged that off. But you see this. This also has made a huge down momentum in the last almost an hour. Crude has lost since this sell signal. Not sure how I wasn't paying attention to that. Why my alerts are still on? They should be. You can see here, this went to here 97 tick, 98 ticks. That's $1,000 drop in about a half an hour. Just looking, just sim trading. I'm trying to figure some things out with my strategy, so I'm just on sim right now. Did an excellent gold trade earlier for a $270 profit, and we got stopped out of natural gas for a $200 loss. So So this definitely would have been a good trade. You can see here, natural gas came down hard, establishing this is our low overnight, which was just established back here shortly after the open, and it just crashed hard. We now have a almost a 3-point range as it starts coming back up. Indices are now kind of sideways, even with that wild action. By the way, people that are chatting with here, I'm using a piece of software called Restream that allows me to stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. But unfortunately, you guys don't see each other's chats. So if you ever hear me talking to somebody and you don't see like them responding in chat, no, I'm not just going weird and talking to myself. If you're on Twitch, I'm probably talking to someone that's typing on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, I'm probably talking to someone that's typing on Twitch. Once I get set up better, maybe I can figure out a way that I can show the chat on stream as well. But we'll see about that. So we have no real direction right now here. Let's go back to just charting off our bonds. James bonds. See, bonds had this, here is that, whatever the econ numbers were that came out. And it's just that little blip in the radar. Now, what's sad about that little blip in the radar there is there's a bunch of people that could have got stopped out. It did go down below the ATR. It went down below the EMA. So it probably stopped a bunch of people out, and now it's continuing to run. So we were here. Now, would I have taken this short here? Probably. I'm going to mark it off because it's going to be a loss. But I'm hoping I would have decided not to take that. Okay, JWH, you're welcome. Hope you can make it other days, and I will be available on Reddit if you have any more questions. Gold. Well, it's sending another sell signal. So this is interesting. This came up basically at the 7:30 mark, and then now it's coming back down. But we are also at this resistance point. This is our low of the day here. Well, I'm going to count it as the low of the day and not count that 7:30 candle. So we want to see it break that low. Well, maybe not. It's actually still 15 ticks. You're welcome. So let's not tempt fate there. Even though I'm sim trading, obviously since I'm trying to learn stuff about my strategy and test some stuff, I guess I should say. I want to try and trade like I would in if I was trading the Gauntlet account. And right now, so no, I would not have had the confidence to take this trade. We'll see if it can continue to break and make new lows. And this would have been an actual good trade, or at least looking like it. It's over 10 ticks in the profit. So bonds, bonds, bonds. What was I doing here? Wow, this would have been a good trade there. This would have been a sell signal, and already below an uptrending SMA line. Maybe we'll mark it. It would have been a good trade. This one would not have been a good trade. We got stopped out. Now this one here is problematic. See this long big candle. This is a 10 tick candle in the bonds into the bands. I would not have taken that trade, but I would have been tempted to, but I would not have. And you can see it retraced by 8 ticks. Excuse me. I need to catch up some sleep this weekend. I get about 5 hours a night during the week, and then catch up on the weekends. That would have worked. That would have worked. No, that would not have worked. Stop out. And they're caught up. Hit save. Okay, gold again. Gold is continuing. So gold did break new lows, and that would have been an awesome trade to enter. We would have got another 35 ticks out of that. Easy. Always, I think. Shouldn't say that before actually marking it. Yeah, gold is just losing its mind. Yep. So big moves down. New daily lows. Natural gas and the bonds. Weren't we just looking at the bonds? Yes. Oh, bonds is we have an uptrending band and an EMA. So we'll wait on that. Let's see what natural gas is doing. I'm not seeing what the signal was there. Oh, so we had natural gas come up and then it's coming back down and it's hitting. We just hit another sell. Not 100% sure about that though. It's kind of going sideways. You can see this buy signal here, but not a definitely not a worked. Well, maybe well, it's weird how some candles can look smaller and bigger than what they really are. In this case, I'm actually kind of surprised. This actually went boom 33 ticks. So that's actually significant in the fact that, depending on the trade management I use, that would have been enough to not get to my 40 tick profit target, but enough to move my trailing stop where the trade would have still got some sort of profit even when it pulled back to break even. I think it would have got like I think if it hits $300 in profit, which is 30 ticks, I have it set that at least gives me $100 of profit even when it pulls back. So we see the market's now starting to trend downward. This attempted a trade here on the NASDAQ. Sorry, well, we have the wrong trade. This attempt here, it's one of those like I was talking about where you have a big candle that just comes through the SMA line. In this case, the SMA was almost horizontal, but it seems like those don't work. But this one actually would have worked to a point. And that weird econ news would have stopped us out if our stop loss was any closer. But I mean, this did get how far? Over 12 points in the profit. So I'm not sure what I have in trade management. I think this would have ended up stopping out at a slight win anyway. But we count it as a loss because the spreadsheet is a worst case scenario. The Russell. We haven't heard much from the Russell. So much so that I'm still on the 5-minute chart. Excuse me. Or maybe I was just ignoring its signals. Russell. This time of day I was running much larger, but we see this is really falling here. I would shoot for 3.5 ticks, which is off screen here. So sometimes trading view can be a little bit annoying, but there we go. Okay, we're getting a lot of signals here. We're about 40 minutes before the U.S. Open. Boom, boom. So here, you see this natural gas stream. We'll put it back up to, actually, let's see, what time we enter this. So actually, we have a 60 tick profit target at this time of day. So you see it's kind of curling back up. So be interesting to see whether or not it reaches that. Crude oil gave us a signal. We have a sell signal here. It seems like it wants to continue going down. Let's grab ourselves a chart. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Crude chart and the dweebs. Okay, so the signal on crude actually went away while I was looking for that chart. Oh, there it is. Never mind, it did not go away. Okay, we're gonna get in We're a couple ticks late in. There we go. And we're on a different sim account than the other one. Oops. I have two sim accounts in NinjaTrader. Forgot to switch them. I also didn't put on the right strategy for this time of day. Normally I go for 30 tick profit and 20 tick stop. Right now it's at 16.12. But I could move the stop back. Still saying I can't do that. We are at 82.15, so the stop would go to 82.35. But the trade management's still gonna be messed up. We're 7 ticks in the profit here. Let me blow that. Oh, yeah. Trade management's gonna be messed up. We're 10 ticks in the profit. You can see my stop loss is moving down with it. Now trailing. Whoa. Okay, I'm not sure what we got there. We gotta look. It started moving down so fast, and the trailing stop couldn't actually hold up. You can see here. Let's take this down, and then we'll check to see how good that trade was. But look at this. You know, it started moving down so quick. You see this big wick down, and it quickly reversed. It hit a low of 76, and it reversed that quick to 93. So let's take a look, because I have no idea what we even got out of that. Boom, 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 boom. Executions. Looks like we got 29. Let's see if that's right. Accounts. No, 31. That was a $310 winner on crude. Excellent trade. So our last two trades have been for $270 on gold and $310 on crude oil. So altogether, our last two trades has been $580. Now we did take a $200 loss earlier, or $210 loss earlier on natural gas. So all in all, we're up $370 today. You can see in the executions that trade only lasted 1 minute and 32 seconds. So all in all, to make the last two trades, which made 270 and 310, $580, we spent all of about 7 minutes in those trades total. Now it's fun to think about, $570 5 minutes, but I mean that's not an accurate reflection because you're spending time looking for these trades to enter. So yeah, but still, what? I mean, heck, I've been on stream now for less than an hour and a half, and I'm up over $300. So that's a pretty good hourly rate. I would take that any day of the week. And as you can see here, it went down, it broke the bands. We got what we could out of it, and it's now trying to reverse right away. Did did establish a new low of the day. Nasdaq's continuing to move down now. This is a 15-point candle. About the same time that crude made that move that we just caught. So we're starting to see a downward trend as we go into the open. Let's look at the bigger chart, the 5 minute. We're not we're not at the low of the day yet, but you can see that from here is the low. Came back up. It hit its EMA line and then rejected. Do have a sell signal on the 5 minute chart. Looks like it might want to try and head down and see if it might want to get down to its next level here, down to its low of the day. The ES is kind of doing the same. A little bit sideways right now compared to the Nasdaq, but Russell would have gave us our profit target. Gold's still going down. Another new low of the day for gold. So it's really now, I mean, it's since here to there, it's gone down $1,800 a contract. No, I'm sorry, $2,000 a contract to the low of the day. Thank you all for joining me this morning. Please feel free to say hi in the chat, ask questions, statements, insults, whatever you want to do. If you're on YouTube, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. By next year, this is going to be absolutely hopping #1 channel for futures live trading. Oh, bottom just dropped out of the natural gas there. So this trade would have ended up stopping out. This is a 37 tick 1 minute candle. And sell signal came in. Are we at our low of the day there? Not quite. But the low of the day was just established half an hour ago. Bonds, whoa, wow. 12 tick candle in the bonds. This bonds become kind of ugly looking right now. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Pulling back again now. Then up. It's not sure what it wants to do. Copper. Haven't heard much from copper, but excuse my yawning again. Looks like copper's made a new daily low. It hasn't even pulled back enough to send us an opposite signal to get back in. These are significant candles down here. This broke a, looks like I had a resistance area or support area from something. I don't know from when or from why. Back here, all the way back here from a couple days ago, and it easily broke that, it appears. So we can get rid of that line to make our chart look nicer. Looks like it's trying to bounce back up to the SMA. Uh, it's a good question, and it's one I need to look at. It, there are certain times where you would get chopped up. Uh, like here. Let me move this out of the way for clarity. Here, this ended up being a profitable trade, but you see inside this profitable trade, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different signals. So if it like just followed these, this has been getting chopped up pretty bad and probably a bunch of losses in a row. They might have been smaller losses, but I'm just not sure what the overall profit will be. Plus, if it's firing off this much for these small amounts, your commissions are going to add up. So I mean, now this can be set. You know, if I mess with the settings, I hate it when it does that. Hold on, let me check these signals first. Okay, we see the indices are trying to make a comeback. We'll wait to see if they break their EMAs. But let's try and do that again. Settings, inputs. If I say make this 3 instead of 2.2, you see that you get less signals, but they come later. So like this one came here instead of down here. But you get less signals. Whereas if we make it like, oops, wrong, 1, you get more signals that fire more often. And I mean, I guess that would almost be good for scalping. But I really like the 2.2. But I think if you follow every signal, because it's great for trends, it's great for trending. It sucks when it's ranging. So maybe if you paired it with, say, like a Bollinger Band width percentage, where it only takes trades if it's just certain width, or maybe if it only took the trades that's with the EMA line, something like that. I would love to find a way to automate it. And actually have a guy that's working on that, but definitely need to be able to filter out some of the trades that just wouldn't work during ranging conditions. Excuse me 1 minute. Okay, back. Yeah, I mean, if I could automate this where I didn't have to think as much, that'd be wonderful. Or if I, could take trades around the clock and then do it while I was asleep. But so far I haven't found a way to do that. Plus, I'm not a coder, so it's like I can't even code it. But do have a guy that's trying to figure out how to do it possibly. Okay, gold looks like it finally found a bottom for now. It's kind of sideways. Platinum's continuing to go down, although I'm not really checking out platinum much. Bonds are now going up big time. So let me see. Bonds still has a ways to go before it's high of the day, though. Another full point. Crude. Ah, wow. Another big move down here on crude. Went sideways for just a few minutes and now made another new low of the day. Natural gas at its low of the day. Double bottom so far. We'll see if it can get through there. NASDAQ hit its SMA line on the 1 minute and bounced, as did the ES. Russell's just kind of doing its own thing. It's kind of bounced off the EMA too. So 25 minutes to the open. It's been kind of a calmer morning, but 2 out of 3 good trades is a good morning. Market seems to want to trend down today. Right now everything's kind of boring, sideways. Although doing one of those moves that I hate. Let's see, but let's look. Excuse me. See, it sent this buy signal here with downtrending SMA on. So, but it wasn't it wasn't as bad as like something here. So I would have been tempted to take this. Let's see if this would have worked. No, it would not have. This is why I should not have been tempted to take it. Those candles are bigger than they look. We would have stopped out easily. We just got another signal in copper. Was it on the 2 minute or the 5 minute? Copper on the 2 minute chart is sending us a buy. No, it's not. It's close. Its nose hit it there. It's kind of interesting here on the 2 minute chart. That's a pretty strong move up here now. Well, pull back. Copper chart. Yep, pulling back now, so never mind. Oh, there it goes again. Oh, sorry. Don't mean to hit the mic. Let's go back to our 1 minute. I'm not going to jump into that right now. Don't really need this resistance line here anymore. We're well below it. Got other areas of resistance beforehand. If I was drawing out resistance lines here, this would be the one. Oops. So copper is continuing to move up. This is probably would have been a good trade to get into off the 2 minute signal. And we can take a look at that here. I mean, it was starting to give us a symbol here. It's still, yeah, see, maybe not. It's kind of teasing. I have a feeling it is going to go, but this would be the resistance I would look at there. Maybe there, but that's not really. I mean, it came back up. That's where it rejected. Gold. Gold sending a signal. Okay, gold's trying to push back up. There's a buy signal. It's into the bands a bit here. This is an 19 tick candle. Reversal off a band break. It hit a high of hit a high of 83.9, pulled back to 82.2. So these candles are much bigger than what they appear. Warning, things may appear bigger than they are. So that's a pretty good, we're actually an 83.9 down there now, 82. So that would have been a good way to play off the bands. That's another thing I would love to automate. Entry off the break of the third band. That seems to work more often than not with a tight stop loss. Excuse me. You see here now, and this candle itself is down 14 ticks. So that would have been a great play. One day I'll be rich and be able to hire a programmer. Crude, trying to push back up, so is natural gas. NQ with a buy signal. It's trying to curl back up, and we see it's actually already curling the SMA on the 5. So that's interesting. Now, if I was on a normal day where I wasn't trading SIM, I would never take a trade now on the Nasdaq, but we're going to take a trade now on the Nasdaq with our 30 by 20 parameter. See the Nasdaq chart. Morning, Rich. How you doing? Oh, did you get funded? I don't know. I've been playing with NQ lately, and at certain times it seems like it's good. Other times it's so wild. I'm sim trading to try and get some confidence here in myself. Um, Not on the gauntlet right now. Yep, there it goes into the negative. Giving yourself some room though with the bands. It's touching the bands on the 1 minute. So just got above the EMA on the 1 minute, but it's kind of struggling here a bit. Oh, I probably knew that and I just forgot. And NQ, I've been looking at it more. I've been finding, originally I was looking at ES, and I started recently finding it harder and harder to find a handle on ES. Not that it moves real fast, but it just doesn't seem to have follow through. And I couldn't find a good reward to risk on it. So I did start looking at NQ because since I was getting better, better reward to risk and all that. See, we're up right now. It's trying to push up. Yeah, ES kept burning me too. Of the four indices, I actually like the Russell the best. RTY. That's the one it seems like it's the one that doesn't correlate with the other three as much. It seems to do its own thing, but it seems to trend just somewhat better than uh, anything else. The other three, I mean. So we saw this surge up here. and pull back on the next candle. We were up as much as $200, now back down to 90. See if this comes back down, or this is just giving it a breath here on this 1 minute. That did finish a 5 minute candle as well, so that could have been, sometimes out there, a big 5 minute candle, it takes a breath. It's got some room to go before the EMA on the 5. Probably about 14 points or so. We're looking for 30 points at this point at time of the day, so we might not get there. 15 minutes before the open. If I was it's coming back down to our profit, our entry point, so we let a $200 winner turn into a break even right now. I've been looking at the UB lately, Rich. Looking at its chart, I like it. Um, Canadian Futures Trader turned me on to it. I'll put this to the side as the size wants to do, but you can see here it gives me almost on a pretty regular basis. It's given me 7 ticks. So I mean, if you go back through today, let's see, 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, loss, 4-1, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 6-3, 7-3, 7-4, 8-4, 8-5, 9-5, 10-5, 10-6. So 10-6 so far today. So and that's with a 7 tick profit target, 5 tick stop loss. And that's the type of stats I've been getting on it every day. With going back through these trades. I didn't finish yesterday apparently, but you know, 2 days ago, I think it was. Let's go back in time. Let's go back in time. Uh, Here? Yeah. This day that it uptrended, you can see here, I think starting, boom, yeah, starting way back here. This would have been the last loss on it. Then it gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 wins in a row, which is outstanding. And I think there was one sell signal here, one of these sell signals I would have took that I forgot to mark off. So like maybe 12-1 in a row. 12-1 out of the last 13 trades that day, if I would have been taking them. And that's for 7 ticks each time. So that would have been. It just don't. I haven't traded it on a Gauntlet account yet, only because it scares me at the $31.25 a tick, uh, per tick. See, our Nasdaq trade here is now $370 in the profit. It's continuing to move up. We're getting close to the EMA here on the 5 minute chart. At $400 in the profit. Part of me wants to say to cut it here at 300. Yeah, it's pulling back now. We have a doji candle. So we're up 10 points on this. It's really pulling back. Not sure. See if this is just a pullback or indecision before the open. Let's go check what crude's doing. Crude's uptrending. So let's just play it out here. That would have been a good trade too. That would have reached our 30 ticks. So we're at $150 in profit on this NQ trade, but it's trying to come back on us. You can see two red candles now, and it has now broken down. So we turned a winner into uh, it's a smaller winner right now. Honestly, if I was on the Gauntlet account, I would have cut it at that $400. Copper. Sending as a buy signal. We can see that copper hasn't been giving us any real follow through here. This would have maybe worked, but we're 9 minutes before the open. I'm gonna mute here for a couple minutes just to eat a little breakfast. We'll keep watching on this Nasdaq trade as we do. See, we had a big pullback here on the UB. Eight tick candle followed by a 7 tick candle. So for you people that are not math inclined, that's 15 ticks. Our NQ trade has turned into a loser now at this point. And since we're on sim, we're just going to hold it through the open and see what happens. Unless we get stopped out before. Natural gas being blocked by my NQ window. Sell signal. Try to get back down. You see it's double bottomed here on the lows, so uh, I'll be hesitant to get into a sell here on this or short because I want to see it break that area that it's not been able to break twice. Five minutes to the New York Open. Gonna finish up breakfast and then I'll be here to commentate. Yep. And natural gas did just break its, will establish a new low. See whether it continues downward. Gas prices going, or natural gas prices going down for that heating oil. It'll probably pop back up on Monday. Oh, look at our Nasdaq trade now back in the profit. That's why I got to give the Nasdaq room to roam. You know, so I wish I had taken that 400 profit and just ended it, but this could end up being a bigger profit. We'll see. Back to being up 160 bucks. Be right back while I chew my eggs. So this NQ trade has moved back to $200 in the profit with less than 3 minutes to go into the bell. There's a big part of me, okay, if I was on a Gauntlet account, I would close this trade right now for the $200 profit. I'm not on the Gauntlet account, just sim trading. So honestly, I would close this trade now or sometime before the open. Probably once it got back up to $200, I would have felt grateful that it gave me a second chance and I would have closed it. Let's just hold it and see what happens. NQ can definitely give some heart attacks. Yep. Oh, wow. So, yeah, that quickly, we're down $200. That's how quickly NQ moves. So let's see what it does at the open. This is definitely not how I would have traded in the Gauntlet at all. I would take that $400 or I would have took the $200. I would not have stayed in this trade. But now I'm also to see what it does when at the open, unless it stops us out beforehand. Coming down to 1 minute before the open. Huh? Down 15 points on this trade now. That's how quick it goes. And Q is the methamphetamines of the futures world. What did I do here? I accidentally moved my copper. Okay, let's go there. Put this in the middle. Okay, there's the open. Oh, oh, that's why I'm down so much. I was actually in for 2 contracts. I didn't mean to do that, but okay, let's see here. We haven't stopped out yet. we go. Wow. So that's why you give it a generous stop loss. Back down below, back above, back to below. Indecisive. It is struggling to get above that EMA line, and you can see there. It's bouncing off of it there. Big bounce. There. Oh, there it broke it. There we go. Struggling there. We'll close the trade. So that's how you run an NQ trade. Not that I didn't just get lucky there and have any idea that that's what it was going to do. It just did what it did. Ugh. On the day I do not uh, play the gauntlet because I need to get some focus here. Put that down now. You can see I will be up $785. See, the Nasdaq's continue trying to push up. So far, it's looking bullish. The ES doesn't look as strong relatively. See what everything else is doing. Copper's kind of just sideways. Didn't care about the open. Gold didn't really care about the open either. Bonds bounced. Bounced to a buy. Slightly downtrending bands though, so I mean it would have room to go, I believe. Yeah, but I'm not convinced that this is going to be a strong upwards move here, and in fact, it's pulling back. Crude is kind of continuing the move that it was making before the open, and actually, natural gas has made another new bottom on this candle. The Russie. You see, the Russell came down, bounced off the SMA. Set a buy signal a little bit ago. I believe it was here about 10 minutes before the open. Looking for 3 points on it, we would have got it easy. Probably could do a bigger target at this time of day. I was running actually a 80 point target on it this time of day, and it was regularly hitting it. But I'm trying to make things more. The problem with the 80 point target is I'm running a 60 point stop loss. Not point, a tick. 60 points would be a lot, $3,000 stop loss. But even that, I mean, that's $300, and didn't really want to have anything with a $300 stop loss in the gauntlet. So I shortened it up. Excuse me. So there's another signal in the Russell, another buy signal in the Russell. Let's clone it and see whether it would have got to our profit target. I got momentarily distracted and didn't take that trade, so oopsie. Upsay. Upsay, upsay. Thank everyone for joining me this morning. I think this is the most viewers I've ever had on YouTube at one time. I'm seeing that there's 4 live people here and 5 on Twitch. So thank you for joining me this morning. We would already hit our 3-point profit target on that Russell trade. So, let's cut this for a second. If I just made this a 6-point because of the higher volatility time of day and made this a 3-point stop loss, long on YM, what's your entry point? Oops, I have a YM chart here somewhere. There's the YM. Ooh, big 100-point candle. Wow. YM's definitely looking strong, though. I mean, the NQ's trying, but YM's looking like the star of the day right now. The Russell's going to 648. Pull back there, but looking good there. Up 24 points so far. All right, everyone else that's joining me on YouTube and Twitch, feel free to say hello in the chat. Let me know that you're live out there. Let me know if you're trading anything right now. Russell's trying to break its high of the day. Or if you have any questions, please feel free. That's why I'm here. That's why I get up so early in the morning. Pull back here, Rich. Did you get out or are you still in? It broke that third band pretty significantly and then pulled back. Excellent, excellent, excellent. See, the Russell is gone now since this original buy signal. It's up 10 points. It's 500 bucks. Still going. Oh, NASDAQ finally just decided to blow up 30 points. So if I had stayed in that trade that we were in on the NASDAQ, beep, 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 beep. We got in that trade at 634.25. It's up to 670 now. So we would have got our 30 ticks. So I mean 30 points of profit. So I've been, over $600 at this point, depending on, I do have a trailing stop on it. Let, let me see what that trailing stop is. Let's see what the plan is. I trail it by 5 points. So I don't know if it's come back down enough 5 points at any point in time enough that will stop me out. If not, we'll be up about $600-700 in profit. But you can see it's starting to kind of cancel. Starting to deal with the band there, so we are seeing a little bit of a pullback. You can see the Nasdaq is trying to kind of creep toward its high of the day. Still 18 points or so away, 19 points. It's still about a whole 100 points below yesterday's high, which was its all-time high. So let's wait for our next signal on something. Very good morning here. Oh, there was a signal on something. Missed it. But we'll track it. We can see here that copper really has not been following through. All its latest, signals would have sucked. To put it quite frankly, this would have fizzled. This would have fizzled. This would have fizzled. Well, actually, this did. This would have stopped us out. So the three signals since this huge move downward, all would have been bad. Wouldn't have taken this one because of the downtrending SMA. This one, honestly, I probably would have taken. The only thing that would have got me here is how close it was to the bands. But to be quite honest, I probably wouldn't have processed that fast. So that would have stopped us out. And this back, coming back up. I've really been looking at whether I want to start getting into trades when they have almost sideways SMAs. So that's where you start getting this sine wave around the SMA, and you just keep getting grinded up, and which would have happened here as well. The other option is to try and just get a scalp, but even though it only went 8 ticks. I mean, that's $100. If you're looking for $100 scalp, the thing is, you would need to we would have actually stopped out if we were even at a 1-to-1. So these are the types of signals I need to be able to weed out, you know, mentally as I'm going. And if I ever try and figure out a way to automate this, um, weed those out as well. Oops, I'm here cloning instead of removing. And we see here again, I mean, it did not have the follow through off the signal. We got down. Oops. Got my way, Russell. Oh, yeah. Let's try and get it at the right spot. Boom. So it came down and it got all of. It got 11 ticks. So, I mean, nowhere near the 20 ticks that we normally see on copper. So there's no follow through since this huge sell off earlier. Let's see what everything else is doing. NASDAQ, are we continuing to go up? NASDAQ topped out at 676. Well, no, it topped out at 83. Band break has come down. Um, it was copper. We were just there. Oops, wrong thing. Gold just made another new low of the day. It's strong downtrend now. Very strong downtrend. Let's see here. You can see here that just, you know, I mean, it's kind of been downtrending all the entire session since open yesterday. This downtrend, pullback, pullback. This is the most significant of the pullbacks, if you want to call it a pullback. That would have been a nice run. It went from 91 to 90 to 800. So I've been a $900 uptrend, and then it's just given out since. It's tried to come back a couple of times with these pullbacks, but it is just bottoming out. Still making new lows of the day. bonds. Bonds are kind of choppy now. Copper. See, it's continuing to stair step up now, kind of sideways, hanging right around its EMA. And non gas. Natural gas would have been looks like tough to play here. If we would have went short on this, and we would not have went short on this because it finished below the third band. But let's just use it as an example. This time of day, I would run a 40 tick by 60 tick. What you can see is actually pretty significant on this chart. Russell, we'll check here. Well, let's check the Russell. Oh, big bounce here. Russell did make a new high, and then came flushing down. And this is we'll get back to that natural gas chart here in a minute. Check out this perfect example of a reversal candle on the 1 minute. Strong uptrend and exhaust here. Big, big wick up, tiny body, red. Great indication of a reversal, which we've seen here. So if we got in off of this candle and got in on here at 2305, I'm sorry, 2300.5, so 2300 and a half. Went all the way down to 2295.4. So a 5 point drop, 250 bucks before you ever saw a potential signal here as it's kind of bouncing off the SMA line. Dow on the 5 minute gave us a very interesting chart. I don't look at the Dow anymore. I'm not sure why I stopped looking at the Dow. But you see this, huge 100-point candle up off the open. And it was actually more because it actually reversed before it went long. And then here, it went up another 47 points when this candle opened. And then, this would have broken the fourth band, I'm pretty sure. I could actually chart that. I use one that actually shows all three bands. So yeah, okay, did not break the fourth band. Got pretty darn close, probably about 3.8 on the standard deviations. So, and then reversed, great reversal candle for a 40-point reversal. It's $200 on this candle. So pretty reversal candle. You see the Russell did not give us, it broke the band, but no obvious reversal candle besides the breaking of the band. But since that band break, it's down significantly as well. NQ continuing to head up. So once it found its footing, it's been pretty significant. It just was choppy here for a bit. Would have had to hold on, but let's just do this long position here, based on I would really hesitant to take a position off the opening 1 minute candle. It's because things have a tendency to quickly reverse. But if we had, this is up about 45 points. So we would definitely got our 30-point goal out of it. If I had been brave enough to trade that. You can see here, could have got in here as well. Which is, I think, the trade we did get in it here off this buy signal. Actually, I think that's the wrong buy signal. Wait, where's that buy? There we go. Okay. And actually, oh wait, no, running at 30 by 20, and things do get hairy when you see, especially if you're going in with more than one contract. When you start seeing this come down, you see how close it came to stopping out for that 20 points. You having a $400 loss, but this would have went to that profit goal. Just why you give it that much room if you're willing to take that much risk. You know, this is a 1.5 to 1, so I mean, as long as you're winning more than you're losing, you're going to profit. So ES closer to its high of the day as well. See copper sideways again. Gold even more below, trying to bounce a little bit. Bonds, yeah, natural gas. So you see here, this is the natural gas chart. We would have gotten this, and that's right. That's where I was, and when I got distracted. So if we go here, we would have never got that, and we would be getting stopped out or being close to stopped out. So this is where I struggled. Should I have gotten out here when it crossed back over and gave a buy signal here? Although this buy signal would have been bad. Here, I mean, we came within. Actually, this might have already. Yeah, it got up to 53 ticks. So once it started coming back, I believe I would have had it set to my trailing stop would have stopped me out. So this trade wouldn't even still be open. But for the spreadsheet, we'll let it still be open. Because I don't have the time to go through every trade and see exactly where I would have stopped out and all that fun stuff. Okay, I'm reading on the Earn to Trade Discord that we have a consumer sentiment report coming out at the top of the hour. So that's interesting as well. I don't know what that's going to do. I'm not sure how big of a response that gets. So keep an eye on that as well. Uh, Give me a minute. We'll just watch this chart here while I respond to something I need to respond to on Reddit. Okay. Let's see. Notice everything's kind of quieted down now. Nothing's really giving signals. No, nothing's popped up. You do have the ES trying to break its daily high here. It's about just a tick or two away. Again, thank everyone for joining me this morning. Thank you for liking and subscribing on YouTube and following, following on Twitch. Trying to make these streams look better as well. I've started playing with OBS. I was a brand new streamer when I started this. I still don't believe I'm a streamer, but I've been streaming almost 2 months now. We just saw a brand new high here on the S. And trying to make things look prettier now, flow better. So I hit a new high, then kind of rejected a little bit. Just pulled back a bit. Saw a signal here on gold. Gold's trying to come back. Has a long ways into the SMA line, so this could be actually a decent take. Let's find our gold chart. Gold chart, gold chart, gold chart, gold chart. There, gold, gold, gold. There we go. And let's go here. Magically, the gold chart appears. So let's buy the market because we're already in a little late there. Immediate pullback, so maybe I should have waited. Yeah, this might have not been the greatest trade, but we'll see. Sim trading. Rich, you still trading? Are you one and done this morning, or what are you looking at? We're down 5 ticks on this trade so far. The further things get away from like the SMA, the more likely they are to bounce. That's the whole theory of moving averages and Bollinger Bands. So that's why I decided to enter this trade, even though we had seen this long downtrend. You're going to see a pullback. And usually the pullback can be good enough that we get something good out of it. But right now, this is just continuing. Maybe we want to trend back down. Looks like this is going to stop us out. So this was a bad idea, which is okay. Oh, good, nice. Not that you're not nice that your brains got scrambled, but nice that you got a profit out of NQ. Um, apologize if you're hearing voices in the background. I don't have a place that I can just do this without being interrupted. Um, HG copper. Gold now back to a sell. So it's unusual. Like I said, normally when on these pullbacks, you can see like here. I guess that was that weird economic release, so that shouldn't have counted. But normally you have these pullbacks that have some follow through to them, and this one had no follow through. So it was a decent attempt, but we took the loss on it. 10 o'clock hour here. So whatever that release was at consumer sentiment or whatever release, it didn't seem to do anything to the markets. This is I'm on a 5 minute chart. You know, this was the candle. This is a slight non-event apparently. So looking for some other play. I probably forced that gold play just to find something to play, which I don't know if. Let's look at this chart better. So because it was against the trend. I don't think I would have taken that play if I was just on the gauntlet. I mean, the buy signal wasn't horrible, but we had downward trending bands still. So I probably would not have taken that trade normally. So you can see here, I'm charting off on the 1 minute chart. This buy signal definitely wouldn't have worked. Another thing, with the downward trending EMA well above the price action, just another. Now you can see here, this failed too. This sell signal failed too, and we were near the bottom bands, straight down. So that kind of yelled, "Don't, don't take me." Natural gas is just kind of sideways here. Wouldn't have stopped us out yet. Would be in profit right now. Like I said, this would have actually, I would have this trade would have ended about somewhere around here when it pulled back from this. When it was 53 ticks in the profit. I want to thank you all for your support today. Today is the most likes I've ever gotten on a live stream. 5 so far, which beats the record of 4. I'm going to work on getting some nicer thumbnails on the videos, and I want to start trying to find some time to do some regular non-live stream videos as well about some of the things I do and some of the indicators I use. See, NG is moving back down here. So, see what that does. Russell, we had this, where top tier came down some. I mean, and it came down like 6 or 7 points. Now it's trying to come back up. Bending the bands up. It's about 2 points away from the high it established earlier. Crude oil actually sent another sell signal. You can see it's kind of sideways in this range here, though. From there to there, to there, to there. So, it's actually it's trying to get down. I don't know what that signal was. I just knocked it down. You see here, it wicked down here. It hit the same spot here. So this is an interesting, for some reason, an important level at 82.11, I think. Yeah. So see if we can break that gold. Now gold's sending us a buy signal again. Now see we're closer to the SMA line. And again, this is going to tempt. Well, we already missed the entry. Gold sent us the end. So this looks tempting now. It's closer to the on the 5 minute, and this is just a second attempt, and it looks strong. Oops. Helps if you get the one that's going in the right direction. Yeah, this would have been a great entry. Crude. So crude's still trying to push down. But again, we want to see it break this 82.11 level, which it came down to once, twice. You can see it bounced once off this level and went all the way up to 82.62. So it went up $500 off this bounce. Now it's come back down that $500 and bounced again. So what's it gonna do? What's it gonna do? Haven't got a clue. Let's just throw. Oh, I guess I should stop now. Okay, so this did work. This would have been a nice profit right here. See, it's powered through the SMA line on the 5 minute chart. So it looks like gold found its bottom is reversing. That would have gave us a good 35 tick profit. So even if we had Platinum's doing the same thing, by the way. So even if we had taken that bad trade, which we did take, but even if I had done it in the gauntlet, taken that 25 tick stop loss, you know, these last two trades, actually three trades, 3 out of 4 would be winners. So 35 times 3 is 105, minus 25 is 80. So we'll be up $800 on these 4 trades. And technically there was one back here too that we would have took. So it's actually 4 out of the last 5. What my goal is over the weekend is to set up two different windows of 1 minute charts. So I can just easily watch all of them at once. So like, a 4x4 of like gold, copper, S&P, NASDAQ, and then another one, bonds, oil, so on and so forth. That way, I'm not trying to keep switching between charts. If I get signals, I can look on one of two charts. We can actually see, while we're here, we can see that bonds made a new high. Thank you. So we now have almost a 3-point range down in the bonds. That's $3,000, and it's done that in a relatively short amount of time, less than 4 hours, from here to here, just almost straight up. One significant pullback here, but straight up. Russell just sent a signal. Russell just established another new high, but then bounced off. So you can see the Russell in the 1 minute chart here, down here in the lower left hand side. It's kind of bipolar right now. Copper is sideways. Copper's doing a lot of sideways action. This trade would be in profit, I think. You know what? This parameter is actually off. Nope. Okay. Let me make sure I hadn't stopped this out earlier. NQ powered through to a new high of the day. That psychological 700 level breached 704.75 and pulled back. And we haven't checked on our agriculture products. It opened opened down and reversed, and then went back down. So it's kind of bipolar too. Corn being rather corny. Gold. See, gold went up and quickly petered out, and it's pulling back. Ultra bond we just looked at, still trying to move up. You can see now that this crude trade would have been good. Maybe. Actually, it might not be there yet. And it hasn't quite reached our 30 points that we look for. 30 ticks. But we can see that this would have definitely not been a good trade to take. This short here. Big move upwards and then pulls back some. This is just a big pullback. And it just hangs there. And this is a reversal candle here, just like the one we talked about earlier, just the opposite direction. Upward trending bands, upward trending SMA. So we would not have taken that one. We would have taken this SPY though here, and that would have ended up stopping us out. But you can, if you see, let's look back. Out of the last 4 trades we would have took on crude, 3 would have been good. 1, 2. I'm sorry. Out of the last 5, 4 would have been good. We wouldn't have taken this buy because of going into downtrending bands. This buy actually would have been risky to take, and we might not have taken that. So let's just say 3 out of the last 4. Yep, that crude got to our profit target, and if I'm Yep, not, and so it's moving back downward. Yes. Okay, we see the ES is kind of like doing this hanging thing as well. We have the sell signal on the 1 minute, but on the 5 minute, just that hanging thing I just mentioned about how it comes up at big and then kind of pulls back. I expect this to either go sideways or stop, but it could be wrong. Where is the ATR line? Wow, it's all the way down here at 69. So this would have to drop another 3 points to get to sell signal on the 5 minute chart. That's a pretty significant. So we approach 10:30 on the East Coast. We will see if anything exciting happens. If not, we'll probably wrap up around that time, 15 minutes or so. I am ready to get some sleep this weekend. What am I doing? Yeah, that's right. There we go. Discord. Discord. That's not really what I wanted to do. Trying to find a way to set up my screen that I can look at a whole bunch of things at once, but it's not working. I'll have to work on that this weekend too. You can see this has pulled back some. Sorry, I was just kind of talking randomly there. Oh, okay, we'll download that. Look at that here in a bit. Oh, okay. Still got anybody alive out there? Anyone have any questions, comments? Just want to say hi to me, your favorite streamer for futures. Big sell on the 5 minute on the Russell. This would have worked, obviously. This sell signal here. Let's say for 6. Maybe that's what I should look at is 6 and 3 for this time of day. Let's look at that. Boom. So we did 6 over here, 6 and 3. So 3, 3, 6. This hanging one that not would not have worked. Obviously, I would have stopped us out if we had gotten in there. Honestly, though, I would have tried this trade above the EMA line. It looks strong going up, and it would have stopped us out. So, boom, stopped us there. Blah blah blah. So 2 out of the last 3 trades we would have taken. 2 6-point winners, 1 3-point loser, 9 points, $450. And actually, I mean, this one also would have been that 6 parameter. Let's see, does that one get there? Boop, boop, boop. Yes, it does. So actually 4 straight, then we would have taken, I mean, 4 we would have taken. 3 winners. So 18 points minus 5, 15 points, so $750. See, this is giving us some decent, real decent up and downs. Back here we went for 3 points. Got it? Looks like we would not have gotten it here this long, but maybe, let's see. No, we would not have. And that would have stopped us out on that wick down. If it wouldn't have been for this wick down at 7:30, it would not have stopped us out, but we still wouldn't have got the profit. Clone. But this would have been a good one. There was something of an alert on something here. Let's see what it was. Gold. Gold, gold, gold. Gold's kind of sideways. It did come down. I mean, it came down enough that it probably would have gotten us a profit. Yeah, probably. But let's see what the 5 minute looks like. See, in 5 minutes, it's just hugging the SMA line. It's that huge, huge candle up, and now pulling back. Stretching, sorry. Oh, been a long week. Oh, copper finally decided to do something. Copper fell big time. New low by over 40 ticks. So I just dropped $500. This would have been a good trade. Sorry about the sirens. Not the best neighborhood that I live in. So now you can see that today copper is really. I have my. So it hits high here. I think that was the high. Make sure. It hit a high here of 445.30. And now it's all the way down to 433.70. So let's do the calculator on that. Just bring up the calculator on that. I lost the calculator. There we go. Calculator. Copper. 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 There we are. So what do we say? 440, 440. No, 445.30. 0.4530. Bearish. We just hit a low of 43370. 4.3370. One contract. In the middle so you can see it. Calculate. That's a $2,900 drop from top to bottom. Pretty significant. And you can see here, what's interesting is on the 5 minute chart, we've we haven't had any opposite signals. So if you've been running a 5 minute chart, and I have tried running 5 minute charts before, and it's just sometimes the stop is just too hard to deal with, or like here, this buy signal obviously worked on the 5 minute chart. Buy signal fired here, we would have got in here at 440.75, and it would have went up to 440. 40. This would have been over $1,000. But the problem is it pulled back first. You can see it pulled back exactly to the ATR line, but that pullback was almost $500. So maybe there's a point in time where I can risk that, but right now it's not that time. So that's why I'm not using a 5 minute chart. But if we had used a 5 minute chart, we could have got in here on this sell signal at 443, have written this down for $2,500. So we never even got close to, if we used the ATR as a trailing stop, we never even got close. Now, again, this trailing stop, using the ATR as a trailing stop, could also be a little bit dangerous because, like here, let's say here, this candle would have opened at 437.90, but the ATR line was still all the way up here at 440. So if you had been using that as your stop loss, you'd be giving, if it would have came back to it, we would have been giving up over $500 of your gains. Maybe it's worth it though if you're getting these huge moves. I mean, you would be already been up like 1,500. So I don't know. Let's make that EMA line clearer too. I've been doing that. I like that blue color. It's pretty. Blue's my favorite color. Not that you really wanted or cared about that, but it is. So copper's still trying to make new lows. So if we look now, actually, let's go back to that chart. Daily chart. This copper started making this huge run the other day, last week. You see this big run, and it's almost giving it all back. You know, it really started here, I guess. I have no idea what this number is here. I don't know what indicator that was. Anyway, so it started this run here, and it had 6 out of 7 green days. It topped out here, and it's given it almost all back. You can see this is our range here. I got in trouble here. Because if you look, any other time it's given a big green candle, it's given a red candle the next day. There and there. So I totally expected this to be a red day, and it ended up there being 2 great green days. And I was trying to play a short bias, and that was just totally wrong. That's why you should never go with any bias. Anyway, so copper's giving back everything that it's gained. It was nearing its all-time highs, and it never got there. We're sideways now in the indexes. Russell, close that alerts. Russell's kind of sideways too. Obviously, this would not been a buy signal we would have taken, not right up against an EMA line. And this is just the opposite version of that hanging thing I talked about over here. The energies still coming down. Actually, hey, look at this. Remember this gas trade that I said I thought was going to stop us out, but it eventually came to the profit target. That would have been a $600 win. So out of the last 3 trades on this, this would have been what time did this start? Yeah, this would have been a 60 ticker, and this would have been not okay. So 2 out of 3 winning trades, 600, 600 minus 400, so that's $800. 2 out of 3 with a 2-to-1 risk reward to risk is pretty darn significant. Which is why I'm kind of sim trading, and I realize I haven't actually been taking a lot of trades. I gotta get better set up so I can more quickly enter. I really, 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 really wish I could enter trades for earn a trade off of TradingView. Then I wouldn't have to quickly switch to the Ninja Trader, find the right Ninja Trader chart, all that fun stuff. Bonds. Ooh, bonds still going up. Up, up, up. To the moon. You can see here, we haven't been marking off our bonds. Not since here. Got choppy here. And we didn't get another signal, it just went up. We got this sell signal, but again, this is one of those hangers that we wouldn't have taken. Another buy signal here. So I guess what I'm trying to show though here is that every day, every day in the futures markets, there's almost all on everything. There are uptrends and downtrends you can catch that make you money. See, this had a significant downtrend, significant uptrend, and almost everything goes down and up. There's some days, you'll have an asset that just goes one direction almost the entire day, but it's rare. Here, even here in the Nasdaq, which you see is quite uh, sideways right now. You know, this is easier to show in the 5-minute chart. Oops, Nasdaq. I mean, today Nasdaq's been kind of rangy. Came down, a little bit pullback. I mean, overall it was a downtrend. So from here, from 680 down to 609, 71 points, 70 points on Nasdaq, $1,400, and then back up to around just a little over 700. So from, what did I say? This was 595, 700. So then back up about $2,000. And just about, you see this movement just about every day on everything. Natural gas, we see it kind of down, downtrended some, uptrended some, and then this major downtrend. Actually, it's made another new low. So there's thousands upon thousands of dollars to be made every day if you learn to trade it and you're not too afraid to trade it. Like some ox guy I know. We'll get there. Gold. See, gold was kind of, downtrend somewhat. Then we had that bun pullback, but I mean, it's mostly been downtrending all day. But like I said, this pullback here, if you want to call it a pullback, this uptrend for a little bit was $900. Anyone have any thoughts, questions, comments, anything? Anything you'd like to say or ask? So copper's bouncing here a little bit. We're still looking at a 5-minute chart, 1-minute chart. See, it's curling back up here a little bit. It's about to give us a buy signal, actually. There it is. Downtrending Bollinger Bands, though. So I wouldn't be interested in this long right here. does have enough room before the bands or before the EMA line or SMA line. I'm sorry, to give us a profit target, but then that real it's not doesn't look real strong. So give it 5 more minutes or 10 maybe and see if anything else. We've had a good day. You know, if we look at our accounts, we're up $535, but honestly, two of those trades I wouldn't have taken in the gauntlet. So, eh, either way, green's green. Ah, hi, Rallo. Good morning. In a trending situation, we continue to open hold positions after you have stopped out. Seems that with the stops, that one could sometimes miss the large up downtrend. What I do there, and I need to do this more. Let me find. We found there was one earlier. I think. Where was that? Maybe. Let me find an example. Thought we had one on copper, but maybe we didn't. Maybe it was gold. Okay, let's just use this one on gold, even though I don't think it did stop us out. But let's just use this one on gold. Um, let's say this would have, our profit target would have been bigger. Let's say our profit target would have been, say, 6. And, or, no, this is a bad example. But let's just move this away. Okay, let's say we would have got in on this candle and reversed. Bring up array. So we got in, let's say we would have got in on this candle here. You see the next two green candles reversed. Let's say we had a tight stop loss and we got stopped out on this wick. The way I would handle that, and is drawing a line at the original spot of entry. If the price action, reverses back down and comes back through here, this would be my signal to get in, either when the candle finishes below or wait for one more confirmation candle and get in after this one. And what's nice about it with TradingView, if you set this line, you can actually put an alert. So when it breaches that line again, it'll give you an alert, so you know you could be to get in. Ah, thank you, UB. I knew there was one. My mind's going. So, I mean, so like here is, show me where you're. So like, do you mean like how would I continue to get in, like stay in this, or what do you mean exactly, Raul? The last buy signal here? Well, I mean, this didn't stop me out. This would have been a good trade, but if I would have tried to stay in it and then um, hit my trailing stop and got out and then missed the rest of the trade, the easiest ways to handle this, if you want to try and get more of the trend, is either to use the ATR or even the SMA as your trailing stop. That means you have to manually, you would have to manually manage that trade instead of trying to let it on, like I let NinjaTrader just do its thing with the parameters I put in it. So that's, using something like that as your trailing stop. As you can see, if we got in here, the ATR line would we've never even come close to it. Haven't really come close to the SMA either. Now, the one problem with that is it does you end up could give you giving a lot back if you use that as a steadfast. Like here we got up to 196.16. I'm sorry, 196.28, but the ATR was still all the way back at 196.06. So that's a 22 tick or over $600 you'll be giving back. So you know it looks like it topped. Like here it consolidated. So I don't know if once it starts consolidating, if you want to get out, you want to keep, or if you want to stay in. Depends how much you want to get back off the top. Is how far away. Now, some people will also, like trying to find a decent example. Uh, Not really seeing one here, but uh, when it comes back and touches the SMA, or if it came back and touched the ATR but didn't finish below the candle, didn't finish below it, they'll use that as a bounce signal and add another contract. My eventual goal, though, would be to, once I have a cushion and once I have more confidence, to run more than one contract. Let one go to profit, like a 7 tick profit or whatever here, and cash out. So you get definite, um, definite profit, and then put your stop loss on the other contracts, one or two contracts to zero, where you break even at the very least, and just let them run and use ATR or a very liberal trailing stop all the way up. So if you used a 10 tick trailing stop, which is $312 giving back, and gotten in here at 195.08, follow this up, none of these pull back enough to trigger that trailing stop until maybe, let's see, hit 196.28. We're at 196.18 right now. So if you use a 10 tick trailing stop, you'd be out of this trade right now. And so got in at 195.08, out at 196.18. That's 32. That's 42 ticks. So even though you gave it back 10, 42 times 31.25, yeah, that's $1,312 profit on that on one contract. So yeah, you gave back $300. You gave it back about 25% of it, or 20% of it, but still, it kept you in that trade. So those are different ways you could do it. Whether you want to use the trailing stop, the ATR line, or even the SMA line, those are all ways you could stay in the trade with one contract or multiple contracts. Yeah, actually, I do use. If you look at my trade management here on NinjaTrader, boom. Let me change the scene. Oops, wrong scene. Sorry about that. Here, if you look That's still the wrong chart. Yeah, I'm doing good here. UB. UB or not to be. There's my UB chart. Okay, my trade management on UB, edit, edit, is once it hits 8. I thought I had 7, so how about that? Once it hits 8, it trails by 3. So if it continues going without pulling back at least 3, the trade will keep going. Um, Eventually, I'll set this to a 2, where a second contract would have a further behind trailing stop and so on and so forth. But right now, yeah, if it hits 8, then it starts trailing behind by 3. So I'm guaranteed at least five ticks of profit. And the reason I set it at 5 is because 5 is my stop loss. So even if it comes back down to 5, I'm guaranteed at least 1-to-1 reward to risk. I don't want to start, letting it have a 4 tick trailing, where it hits 8 and then comes back to 4, then my reward to risk is less than 1-to-1. A whole bunch of signals back to back to back to back here. Let's see what's going on. Oh, S&P moving up, bounced off. See this perfect bounce here, curled down to that uptrending SMA, and perfect bounce up. This is a 3-point candle, 2-point candle, 1-point candle. So 6 points off this bounce. Gold. Gold's coming back down again. You're welcome, Raul, and thanks for the question. We have this buy signal on copper. It's an interesting signal because we're touching the bands. And it's trying to curl up. It's below the SMA line on the 5. I would not have taken it, but we can chart it out. I will not have this on my spreadsheet because I would not have taken it, but we can see what it would have done. See it actually, let's get closer here. You see it actually would have ended up being a pretty decent symbol as it got within, go away. It got within 95% of our profit target. So sometimes even things like this, everything says not to take this trade. Downtrending bands. SMA line was iffy. It was kind of curling, but what was natural gas trying to tell us? Natural gas gave us a buy signal a bit ago off of its new low of the day. So the S&P is trying to challenge its high of the day. Nasdaq's still kind of sidewayish, though. Had kind of a later bounce off its SMA. The Russell, here's a good example of where do you get, where would be a better entry. We wouldn't have wanted to get in here on this coming up, hitting an EMA. But we could have drew the line. I figured it was going to pull back because of this bounce. And then as the SMA line starts to get more horizontal, you know, honestly, we could have just used the EMA line instead of drawing out that white line. Once it got above the EMA here, that could have been confirmation to get in. There was a strong move above the EMA and above this level of this buy signal earlier. Could have got in here and 22.95 won the 22.98. That would give us our three points easy and another good trade. UB is pulled back. So back to that whole UB situation. If you're using the SMA line, you would have got out at the close of this candle. You would have gave back. You would end up giving back a total of 18 ticks, and that's a little excessive. So I think like on something like the bonds, 10 ticks should be the most you give back. That's $300. And you just now hit the ATR, so that would have been even more. So I think in some spots you need to use like half the ATR instead of the full ATR. So nothing really exciting happening right now. Anybody else have any questions before I wrap up for the day? 5 viewers. Crap. Please remember, if you're on YouTube, to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I stream 4 to 5 times a week. It's been 5 times recently. So usually Monday evening, Tuesday morning, Wednesday evening, Thursday morning, Friday morning. So I work to try and get funded with Earn to Trade. See the pullback here on the Nasdaq and the S&P had that nice little run up, but now it's pulling back to the SMA and the ATR lines. I don't think these run ups would have been enough off these buy signals. We can chart that out. I haven't been charting out the ES lately. Yeah, actually, this would have got us 4 points. I've been trying 4x2 lately on the ES. Trying for a 2 to 1 because I can't find anything else that's been working lately. I don't think the Nasdaq would have given us that big of a move though. Let's see. This is that 30-point move in the Nasdaq. This is a big sell, but into the bands. This buy would not have given us 15 points. At, close? Nope. I would have stopped the thought. Copper. Copper's just kind of reverse course. We would be out of this trade. It's showing it's negative, but we would have got, since it got to 95% of the profit goal, it would have, the trailing stop would have triggered at 75%, and we would have got out for like 6 ticks profit, which is 75 bucks. Okay. Well, folks, it's been a great morning. I want to thank everyone for joining me. Uh, Monday night and then Tuesday morning will be the next streams. Monday night at 7:45 Eastern Time, and then Tuesday morning at 7:30 Eastern. I wish everyone have a great weekend and happy Halloween. I believe Halloween's Sunday, right? Was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. So all the ghouls and goblins out there, appreciate and have fun this weekend, and we'll be back at it next week. Thanks all. Bye.